drawing a certain amount of flack from a neighborhood where he was trying to slowly get into the Arabs, you know. And they have begun to, if you go through Twitter or the social media writing and all that, you would find people have begun to trash much of what he's doing. So I think it's a rather very adverse phase through which Prime Minister Erdogan is going through.
Mr. Rajiv, what is it that the Erdogan regime has done to make the protesters so angry? Why all this pent-up anger? We've discussed, of course, personal freedom is under attack, media is not free in that country, then there are curbs on sale of alcohol now. Could you elaborate on all of these points? What is the situation like for usual, normal Turks?
I think, as we've been discussing, I think there's a lot of churning in Turkish society, domestically, you know, and also regionally. You know, it's as part of its you know, zero problems with its neighbors policy. It's tried to sort of build bridges with its neighbors, which it has problems. Armenia, for instance, it had signed 2 protocols with Armenia in 2009 to sort of solve the problems, but the 1915 genocide, you know, is still fresh in their minds, and Turkey has not apologized, you know, for that incident, and also Armenia is a landlocked country, so then they've tried to open the borders, but nothing has happened after that, and Turkey has gone ahead and improve relations with countries like Ukraine, for instance, but otherwise, you know, regionally it has faced a very bad situation, you know? So its main foreign policy plank of zero problems with neighbors has come apart, you know, especially after March 2011, after whatever was happening in Syria. So if that is the situation regionally, domestically, you know, there's a lot of churning. You know, there is a new constitution which is being discussed. I think it's going to be in place. I think if everything goes according to plan next year, you know, I think, but
earlier that Turkey was being a mediator.
In fact, Syria also asked Mr. Erdogan to step down now.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
irony of the situation.
That's what we see. But you know, global politics is in turmoil. So one has to see what is, you know, unfolding. But yeah, Syrian issue has become very grave over a period of time. And this Turkish turmoil that recently we have seen, it may not have large-scale repercussion on the Syrian issue. It may have some implication. This month, Syrian politics would be very much capitalizing on this issue. We know that the conservative elements inside Iran have actually isolated all the reformist elements. This election would show in Iran how the conservatives would be consolidating their own stand. So in that case, the Turkish issue that is coming up, although it is similar, but still it is very much different because of the dynamics and the interrelationship between these 3 countries. So the regional issues are yet to be seen how it is evolving. We have got to see how it is evolving.
Of course, Mr. Rajiv, the situation is far cry from that of Syria. It's an intractable conflict going on, fueled by outside powers as well. Yet what implications will this have on relations with Syria?
I don't think there'll be much of you know, implications on that front. I think because, you know, Syria has a dynamic of its own. You know, instability is spiraling out of control because of basically domestic factors. You know, domestic discontent with the regime, and a lot of the Turkish government is strong. You know, it's the biggest country in the region. It's the most important power. It's a very strong military power, NATO country, and economic power. So a lot of economic interests all around. In fact, as we speak, the Prime Minister is not in Turkey. He's in North Africa.
Right, he's in
Morocco, and he's going to Algeria. I think he's been to Algeria also, Tunisia. So, and I think Turkey is very important economically. So it's going to continue with its
attitude towards Syria. For the first time, I think he's come wholeheartedly in support of the Geneva conference that the US and Russia are brokering. And this is a departure from whatever he was saying earlier. The other thing is that he has made it very clear that they would not and try to find a solution, because what is happening in Syria is spilling over to the neighborhood, and Turks are deeply worried by the sectarian fallout. They think that the entire region would be consumed by this sectarian war. I mean, I talked to many of my Turk friends, and they say they had no clue about what the difference between Shias and Sunnis used to be. but now the entire discourse revolves around who's where. And there have been, I think, suggestions which have been coming from many of the Turkish neighbors that normalcy in the region can be restored if the Turkey begins to get soft towards Syria, or there has been some kind of normalcy between the two of them. That may not happen right away, but the Geneva conference could be a starting point. And Erdogan's, in certain way agreeing to persuasions by the US government has begun to show some kind of impact on that. So we are at a very, very critical juncture when it comes to solving this problem or not solving. I mean, the focus and the energy that has been given to the issue, I think is also showing up in different ways in different countries. So in turmoil in Turkey or happenings in Iran or all that. So all these events have somehow converged at this point of time.
It may not always be possible that all these people have been happy with all his decisions. So that is why we have been seeing media reports that people from all across the spectrum of political parties, they have been participating in these processions. So it's kind of input that Turkish Prime Minister himself is getting. But yeah, ultimately it would depend upon how he is planning to fight out the next election and consolidate his domestic power hold. That's how it is.
All right, with that, it's time for us to take yet another break in the program. Stay with us. We'll be back with the final segment of the show. Welcome back to Insight. We are discussing the situation in Turkey with the Islamic-led government facing its biggest protest in years. Mr. Rajiv, I'll continue with you. What do you think we can expect in days to come? What could be next? Is this the start of something bigger?
I'm not quite sure, because I think the way I look at it could be, there are of course long-standing grievances, but this could be a sort of aberration, which if the Turkish government is wise enough in its future course of steps that it will take, it can tide over this aberration. Remember, when we say the protest started, AKP is going to be strengthened further, because there's going to be greater polarization in the society. By heart supporters of the AKP are sort of rally around the flag phenomena, and AKP is going to emerge even stronger. So, but if it does emerge stronger, I think it's important to see how the leaders behave from now on. Are they going to take it as a freedom to act even more aggressively in their domestic policies? That's going to complicate the situation. That's going to make it difficult in the future, and we can see greater numbers of protests.